Of course, we got Stephen A. Smith, Marcus Morris, and Shannon Sharpe. Gentlemen, good morning. How are we doing?
Good morning, Molly. How are you?
All right.
Good morning.
All right, let's roll, guys. So the Knicks were down 6 at the half behind in the free throw statistics. The Pistons wound up shooting 34 free throws Monday night in their 194 victory over the Knicks, who took 19 in Game 2. The series is even. And Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau said afterward the free throws need to be as well. Tibbs, talk to me.
Obviously, huge discrepancy in free throws. Huge. So I got to take a look at that, right? So, I don't understand, how on one side, you talk about direct line drives, the guy's getting fouled and it's not being called, right? So, and look, I really don't give a crap how they call the game as long as it's consistent on both sides. So if Cunningham's driving and there's marginal contact and he's getting to the line, then Jalen deserves to be getting to the line. It's really that simple.
All right, Tibbs looking for consistency. Meanwhile, Karl Anthony Towns finished with 10 points, 6 rebounds in Game 2. He scored a dunk with 6:37 left in the second quarter. Didn't score again the rest of the game. It marks the first time in his playoff career that he went scoreless in an entire half. Stephen A., here's what I want to know. Was Game 2 more about Cade or Cade?
Well, to me, it was about Cade. I mean, Cade is special. There's no question about that. Give him credit where credit is due. This brother is a burgeoning star in this league. He is special, no doubt about that. Not taking anything away from him. But you look at the Knicks' offense, it was relatively anemic. They missed their last 4 shots in the last 46 seconds of the game. They scored less than 20 points in 2 of the 4 quarters. In the first and the third quarter, they only scored 18. All right, and then on top of it all, you got Karl Anthony Towns. This is an all-star. This is a dude that was averaging 24 and 12 this season. One of the things we raved about it, even as we lamented the fact that the New York Knicks aren't as rough and tumble as they were last year, we knew that they had more talent and they had more offense because Karl Anthony Towns has been playing like an all-star. Now the playoffs come against the Detroit Pistons, who ain't the Cleveland Cavaliers, who ain't the Boston Celtics, the 2 prohibitive favorites in the Eastern Conference, and you go scoreless in the second half. You only attempt 3 shots. What the hell was going on? So I get where Tom Thibodeau was coming from in terms of free throws or whatever. That's coaching. That's him complaining about it, working the refs, talking about he doesn't care as long as it's consistent. That's not true. Tom Thibodeau is always looking for something to complain about. You see his expression in his face on the sideline, and I'm not throwing any shade on him. I'm not acting like that's a bad thing. I get the fact that that's just the way you do it, especially when you're an effective coach. But in the end, the biggest story is that Karl Anthony Towns was absolutely impotent offensively. He just didn't. He was a no-show, had no presence whatsoever, and I certainly did not expect that, guys.
I thought it was, Stephen A., I disagree with you. I think it was more about Cade Cunningham because I believe they'd won Game 1 had Cade Cunningham played like this. Because you think about it, they got 19 points in the first quarter from in the first game from Tim Hardaway Jr. He got cardio in last night. He gave them nothing. So you talk about what Cat didn't do. What about what Tim Hardaway didn't do? And so Cade was sensational down the stretch. Every big play that they needed to make, every big pass they needed to make, he made that, yes. But Stephen A., we know there are times that in the postseason that Cat will drift. He'll fall in love with the three-point shot. He doesn't go. He has a decided advantage, especially when Derwin goes out of the ball game. He has Tobias Harris guarding him. He should be down, spend more time on the block as opposed around the perimeter. But I thought Cade Cunningham last night was the difference maker. He played great. He was efficient. Look, they made him a scorer. And he says, okay, y'all want to make me a scorer? I'll oblige you, and I'll go get my points, be it through the shoot the three, I'll get mid-range, I'll drive the ball, you foul me, I'll go to the free throw line and make my shot. But I thought this game last night was more about Cade Cunningham than Cat, although Cat didn't give you anything in the second half. Tim Hardaway didn't give you anything the entire game. Tim Hardaway Jr., excuse me.
And Shannon, I like the comparison, but we talking about Tim Hardaway and we talking about Cat. All right, Tim Hardaway is a great role player. Cat is a superstar, and he's playing in the Garden. He's playing in the Mecca. He has to force his way in the games. There's no, let's see how this goes, let's play soft. No, you have to force your way in the game. Jalen Brunson is trying to carry this team. he needs the other guy to step up, and that's Cat. Listen, they are playing Tobias Harris on him. I'm going down low every time. I'm going to make them call a foul. I'm going to make sure I'm in this game. This is New York. This is the Garden. They need Cat to play well and play forceful. Get on the glass, even if you're not making shots. Foul somebody. Take an offensive foul. Listen, get the crowd involved. But Karl Anthony Towns have to play well. Like 10, 11 points, that's not even acceptable. 11 shots is not acceptable. He has to play meaner. He has to play a little bit dirty, and he has to get himself to the line. I understand what Tibbs is saying about the foul call, but make him call fouls.
Stephen A.
That's right. We're talking about the grit. We're talking about the grit. What? Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead.
Stephen A., what I wanted to say, we was on here last year, and we was talking about Cat doing what in the Dallas series. What did you lament, Stephen A.? You said, Cat, get your big 7-foot self down on the block and punish them. Stop shooting all those threes. So we're acting like this is not who he is, Marcus. This is who Cat is. He loves to play around the perimeter. What is his claim to fame? What does he like to say? I'm the greatest shooting big man in NBA history. He didn't say nothing about big man. He said shooting, Shannon, and he doesn't mean in the paint. Go ahead, Stephen A.
But Shannon, here's the point that you're missing. Last year, we were lamenting him shooting jump shots instead of getting in the post. Last night, we're lamenting him not shooting at all. Wait a minute. I mean, you got to shoot. You take 3 shot attempts in the second half. You go scoreless in the second half at the Garden against a young up-and-coming Detroit Pistons team. This wasn't the reigning defending champion Boston Celtics he was going up against. This wasn't some experienced bunch that figures out a way schematically to neutralize him. This is, and we know Bickerstaff can coach. He's my coach of the year. But the point is, we expected more from him. You got to make attempts. Mikal Bridges was off. We're looking for him. He's got a wide open shot at the end that he can't convert. Fine. You know what? You got to find a way to be aggressive to help out Jalen Brunson. You can't have Brunson out there holding it down by his damn self offensively. You're Karl Anthony Towns. You can ball. If nothing else, you could put up some points. Do that. Because if you ain't doing that, you literally serve no purpose. Because when you look at what they had with Hartenstein, when you look at what they had with the rest of the crew, how rough and rugged they were last year, it was about will and guts that propelled them to a Game 7 of an Eastern Conference semifinals. They don't get a whole bunch of injuries. They're in the conference finals against Boston last year instead of Indiana. But that ain't how it worked out. And then Julius Randle's out, DiVincenzo is gone, Hartenstein is gone, and you replace it with Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. You Karl Anthony Towns, you've been playing like an all-star all year. You can't pick the playoffs to do a no-show in the second half. You got to be aggressive.
Marcus, final word here.
And that was my point, Shay. Like, yes, he is a great shooting big. He has the advantage. They're playing smaller guys on him. He has to go down low. That's just an adjustment of being a great player. If he's an all-star, he understands where he needs to be in this game. And they out-rebounded by 14. That has nothing to do with shots. Right, that has nothing to do with getting shot attempts. He has to play harder. He has to play meaner, and they have to get more from Karl Anthony Towns to even not get this to go to 7.
All right, gentlemen, more on this series later, but we got to keep it moving here because other playoff games to get into. Kawhi Leonard scored 39 points of 15 of 19 shooting, and the Clippers even their first-round series against the Nuggets with a 105-102 win in Denver on Monday night. Here's James Harden when asked if Kawhi gets the appreciation he deserves. Take a listen.
No, not even a little bit. It's always negative. It's always, what he's been through and what he's not able to do just because of something that he can't control. But we don't appreciate how great he is when he's actually out there and putting on performances like this tonight. It's always the negative. It's always the hate that people want to talk about, which is something that we got to live with, I guess, in this world. But, as for me being closer to him, every single day and seeing the work that he puts in and you appreciate him.
Stephen A., starting with you here, does Kawhi Leonard get the Marcus? You want to say something?
Oh, he already know what I'm going to say. He already know what I'm going to say. And listen, I'm not even surprised. I was a teammate with Kawhi for 4 years, and every time we were in the playoff and he was healthy, he was putting on magical performances. Like I said, when Stephen A. laughed and went crazy and started running around over there in the studio, Kawhi Leonard is the guy. He has put teams on his back when they needed the most. If he's available, he is the guy, and he's going to continue to play well because I don't even see him slowing down, to be honest.
What happens is when you're his teammate and you're not neutral and you're a bit biased, of course you're James Harden, you will say what you would say, and you're Marcus Morris, and you will clap the way that you did.
No,
Here's
I was his teammate.
Hold
on.
Hold on. You was his teammate. You were his teammate. That's right. Marcus, James Harden, let me speak to both of you directly and all you Kawhi Leonard lovers out there. You have to quote people accurately. When James Harden talks about all the hate, he's right about that. James Harden wasn't wrong with what he said. But you got to contextualize it properly. Anybody who watches basketball knows how sensational Kawhi Leonard is. But that's where the hate comes in because of the lack of availability spanning years. He came into these playoffs having missed 15 of the Clippers' last 19 playoff games. We know what Kawhi Leonard is when he's available. We saw him win a Finals MVP when he was in San Antonio. We saw him win another Finals MVP when he was in Toronto. Who has ever questioned the greatness of Kawhi Leonard once he's been on the basketball court? That answer is no one. What we lamented was the fact that he was always injured. Now, Marcus and James Harden, you're absolutely right as teammates. Guess what? If he were my teammate, I'd be the same way about him. I'd come to his defense because the brother attempted 15 shots in game 1 and made 15 in game 2, shooting damn near 80% from the field. He was sensational last night. And guess what? To watch him play, watching him run up and down the court, you have a right to salivate, to crave that from him more often. His absence of availability through no fault of his own. He got injured. We get all of that. It's not like the man was faking injuries. But the reality is that there was such a flagrant lack of availability. That's why we said what we said about him. It didn't stop him from blackmailing the Clippers. Yo, get Paul George here. Otherwise, I'm going to go sign with the Lakers. It didn't stop him from getting all the perks that came with it. What we said was when Paul George got hurt, we flagrantly saw what that injury is. We wondered whether his career was over when he got injured, for crying out loud, because of the way he came down on his knee. We saw Kawhi Leonard drop 38 one game, 31 another, walk off the court, look perfectly fine. And then the next day we learn he out for the rest of the playoffs. We're like, damn, what the hell's going on here? There's nothing wrong with people going like this. Damn it, damn it, damn it. He's so great. I want to see him. I'm tired of him being unavailable. That's all it has been with Kawhi Leonard. Nothing else. So James Harden and Marcus, I appreciate where y'all coming from. But if y'all going to come at people for throwing shade on Kawhi Leonard, let's just be accurate. All we were saying is, damn, you great. We really, really want to see you out on that court because with you, the Clippers could win a championship. Without you, they have no chance. That's the bottom line.
Stephen A., I agree with everything you just said. I don't know how many of you guys have had, Marcus, I don't know if you've ever had a regular job, but my boss used to say, you know that Sharpe, he a good hard worker when I can get him to come to work. Kawhi's a good player when I can get him to come play basketball. How am I supposed to give you credit if you're sitting on the sideline in street clothes and your team is out there fighting, trying to advance in the playoffs, trying to win a championship? Stephen A. spoke to this. He won an NBA, he won a Finals MVP in San Antonio. He couldn't have been no more than 23, 24 years of age. Then he turns around and then he wins another Finals MVP in Toronto after joining the Raptors halfway through the season. There's no denying his greatness. Guess what? How he was rewarded with that. Not only does he have 2 Finals MVPs, not only does he have 2 Defensive Players of the Year, he was named one of the 75 greatest players in NBA history. Is that not appreciation enough? But let me digress. Bro, if you're not on the court, what am I appreciating? What am I supposed to give you credit for? Stephen A. spoke to this. He said, look, when he's on the court, we know what he is. Also, Stephen A., I thought the mid-range was dead. It don't look dead to me. It look like it's in full effect when it comes to Kawhi and some of these other guys that shoot the mid-range. The mid-range was going last night. But to carry on this point, Kawhi gets the adequate praise and adulation heaped on him that he deserves when he plays, because he's been an all-NBA selection several times. He's been a Defensive Player of the Year, he's been a Finals MVP, and he's one of the 75 greatest players to have ever played this game. That's appreciation. But when you don't play, I don't know the praise and the adulation I'm supposed to heap when you're not out there competing.
All right, Marcus, close us out, and then we'll get to the other LA team.
And I agree with you, Shay and Stephen A. But the thing about it is, like, as his teammate, I'm speaking from what I see from this guy day in and day out, right? When I was there, he was always the first one in the gym. He was always working extremely hard. He took his job very seriously. And injuries happen. Injuries happen to the game. It's unfortunate that it happened to such a great player like that, because when he is out there, it's special. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing off-the-chart numbers. His fadeaway is looking like Jordan. Let's be serious. I'm speaking from a part of seeing this guy day in and day out work extremely hard, and that's the only thing I can go off of. I understand that you have opinions. I don't think that is hate. I just think it's more that, you know, you get tired of kind of hearing, like, what if and what if. It's not his fault. He's playing hard. Other guys has been injured on his team. Paul George was injured a few times when I was there in L.A., and he had to take on the load, and, you know, quite frankly, that could have led to injuries.
All right, we got to leave it there, guys.